Mike. Hey, Overtime Drive, SEC Unfiltered. Week number 11 is officially here. We got a jam-packed slate, lots to get into. We are officially previewing, picking, betting on week number 11 of the 2025 SEC football season. I'm Chris Phillips. He is Cold Thompson. We appreciate each and every single one of you tuning in. As always, before we get going, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button on YouTube. We are inching ever so close to that 30,000 subscriber mark. Of course, we can't do it without your love and support. Also, make sure you check out our friends over at FANDUEL, FANDUEL.com/SECU. Join today. Get started with $250 in bonus bets when you win your first $5 bet. Once again, FANDUEL.com/SECU to get in on the action today. This is the Overtime Drive, SEC Unfiltered's bi-weekly SEC football show, the best SEC football show on the internet. It is Wednesday, November the 5th, which means week 11 is officially here. We are previewing the week upcoming. We are picking all of the games. We are locking in our best bets, and we'll talk about some news and some notes as well, and we'll take your questions and your comments. Again, I am Chris Phillips, as always, joined by my friend, my co-host, my colleague, my partner in crime. He's simply put one of the best in the business, Mr. Cold Thompson. Bear, what's going on, man? Appreciate you taking the time. Jam-packed week 11 slate, my friend, as the month of November continues. What's going on, bud?
Hey, what's up? Yeah, I'm excited to break down that Citadel game. I mean, let's be real. The Citadel, an underwhelming team at the FCS level, finding a way to drop it this week. And hey, as Stanley Chestnut brings up in the comments section, Arkansas will not lose this weekend. They won't win this weekend, but they won't lose a game this weekend, which honestly feels like a win in itself, if we're being completely honest. No, it did.
If you're a Hogs fan, you got to take any of the positives you can get, right? If you're on a bye, you can't lose a football game. So that is a great point by you, Stanley.
Time out. You 100% can lose a football game. It's called a season-ending injury to your star player. That's how you lose.
Hopefully they've got Taylon Green in bubble wrap this week. That's all I'll say. Hopefully Taylon Green's taking it easy, not doing anything too strenuous. I'm sure that he is. I will just say that. Either way, again, jam-packed show, lots to get into. Guys, also just a quick reminder, the weekly vlog will drop later tonight. We are uploading it as we speak. Jacksonville, I can tell you this, it's probably one of the wildest that we have ever composed. I swear there's a football game in there. It's about 10% of the vlog, but it is mixed in there. That's what happens when you goes to the world's largest outdoor cocktail party. That being said, we got best bets to get into. We got our Week 11 preview. We're locking in our pick'em, of course, as we get you geared up for the weekend. And one more reminder, the SEC Unfiltered Tour. We are headed to Tuscaloosa, Alabama this weekend, so check us out in T-Town. Bear, great news for the brand. Great news for the brand. We're heading to T-Town tomorrow because SEC Unfiltered is getting some inside access.
Yeah.
We got a little tour of the football facility tomorrow. That's a pretty big deal for SECU. That's a pretty big deal. Hey, the weekend of the LSU game, that's not bad right there.
That is not bad. That is
Shout out to Coach DeBoer. I didn't mean any of those things I said about you after week one.
I never quit on you, Kalen. Just remember that. Like, I was very much on Team DeBoer from the get-go. I thought that you were the only right guy for the job. The Bear was the first to say DeBoer is going to be able to make some noise out in Tuscaloosa. Maybe even is going to be a little bit better than what we saw with Nick Saban. Okay, we know that's fake. Come on, Nick. I'm just joking, but just show some love, okay? That's all we're asking.
Dude, can we on that note, speaking of Nick Saban, can we talk about it for a moment, the clip that came out from Kristen Saban about him or not about him, but of him sitting in the lazy boy with the blanket and Miss Terry yelling sit up at him, and he just does it on command. And like we've reached the level of Nick Saban is the level of retired of old man sitting in a recliner with a blanket watching the football game, and people think he's going to coach again. Like, he's so retired, it's not even funny.
Here's where my brain went. Again, $25 million is a lot of money. Nick Saban has an inkling to coach. You ain't convincing him. You got to show that money to Miss Terry. Like, as we got Miss Terry's bathwater in the chat over here, we're not going to show the message because he says a naughty word in there. But still, Miss Terry's the one you got to convince, guys. If that was it, sit up. Yep.
Hey.
You think that it's all about him with the coaching? Hey, we don't want to go here. What? No. Sit. Yep. There we go. That's what we have. And Miss Terry just dropping the names.
Miss Terry's bathwater. You got to put some stars in those. We gotta keep it PG for the kiddos out there that we know are tuned in. No, yeah, Miss Terry runs that house though. It's awesome.
100%. Not even remotely.
I guess it really. To be fair, I think the Nick Saban Miss Terry clip goes to show they're behind every great man. There really is a great woman whipping him into shape. I mean, that has to be the lesson from that.
I would agree with that. I think that's.
Look at Nick Saban; he's the GOAT. But Miss Terry's really the GOAT. So, anyways, all right, Bear. Let's get in this Week 11 slate. We got a lot to get into. Let's start, of course, with our best bets brought to you by our friends over at FanDuel. Let's pull them up here. We're locking in these bets. Bang! Here we go. All right. So the Bear, moving into the week, is 27-23. Yours truly sitting at 29-21. 50 games exactly we have bet on, by the way, as we go into week number 11, Bear. As we dive into our picks, let's first start with the one. And I believe, okay, we have two that are exactly the same. We'll start with this first one. You and I both, as we look at the slate, we are both taking Georgia -8.5 at Mississippi State. Again, our friends at FanDuel, that line opening, I believe, at 7.5. It's jumped up to 8.5. I talked about this pair in the preview. We'll talk about it more when we put the game. I'm not buying the hype. This is going to be some tight, close, competitive game. State's going to pull the upset. I love Georgia on the number. I just think Georgia's flat out the better team. I know they've been playing with fire, but I think the dogs of the Athens variety win by double digits.
I politely disagree. I think it is going to be a 4-quarter battle. I just think that you're going to watch Georgia pull away in the fourth. Like, that's the difference, is that we are going to see Georgia truly live up to the expectation of, we are the better dogs. We have the better talent. We have the more functioning players. We have guys that we can trust more. We have more explosive players downfield. We can take away your biggest element. And that's what's going to separate it. But I do actually think that when we get to halftime, something like in a 7-point swing, that's very much going to be in play. I truly believe that, but Georgia does pull away late.
Bear, funny enough, quick update from our friends at FanDuel as we sit here and talk Wednesday night. Georgia is now -9.5.
Oh,
so
man.
the money is coming in on glory, hail UGA. The money's coming in on the Bulldogs of Athens. Bear, let's go to the second game you and I both agree with. That being happening in Como. It is Mizzou. It is Texas A&M. We're both taking the under 47.5 in this game. Backup quarterback for MIZ. Relentlessly good defense for Texas A&M. I also factored in two big, strong, powerful running game for A&M. I think they might lean on the run game in this one, which will burn clock. But we're both going with the under 47.5 here.
I think you have to respect Mizzou's defense. We don't talk about it enough in the national spotlight. We don't talk about Mizzou enough in the national spotlight, but they're a top 10 unit against the run. They're a top 5 unit against the pass. They're top 15 in almost every single other metric. They know how to make quarterbacks fundamentally flawed. And so to me, it's like, even if you don't get a lot from Matt Zollers in this offense, I don't know if you're going to guarantee get a lot from Texas A&M's offense. And again, you never apologize for a road win. You never apologize for a win coming off of a bye week. You never apologize for a win in November. But I think we're talking more so somewhere in like that 24-21 range. Maybe even it would be, say, 24-6-17. It's enough to where I believe that 47.5 is not even going to come close.
That number still sits at 47.5 on FanDuel. By the way, Miss Terry's bathwater said, is Ahmad Hardy still that dude or did he fall off? I think he's still that dude.
I think he's still the dude.
Again, it's just Mizzou has lost 2 games, and the the chatter around them has essentially disappeared. So, which is just so typical of them. Like you said, they don't get the national respect they deserve in any capacity. Ahmad Hardy is still a beast. Rest assured that. All right, Bear, I'm going to jump to, we actually have one more. My bad. We actually have three of these picks, 3 of the 5. Great minds really thought alike this week, Bear.
I need to win some money. You've been winning more than me. That's why.
Which, on that note, though, I do, once we get the conclusion of this, I want to get an update on your big bets, your big list of bets. We are both looking at the game in Nashville, Tennessee. I apologize. 3 of the 5 we picked exactly the same on. We are looking at the game in Nashville, Tennessee, that being Vanderbilt and Auburn. Vandy still on FanDuel sits as a 6.5-point favorite. You and I are both going with the Commodores to cover the 6.5. The only thing that gives me hesitation here, Cole, feels too easy. It just feels too easy, man. Like, I feel like Vandy's such the obvious pick here.
Yeah. Part of me is also like, is it going to be that easy? Because when it feels too easy, sometimes it is.
That's what I'm saying.
Vegas, but am I overthinking it? Like, am I overthinking that this is going to be a game to where we watch as now with no Hugh Freeze, but still questions at quarterbacks, which, by the way, in the preview, we didn't bring this on up, but now we know official. Ashton Daniels is going to be the starter. That we're going to see this offense move into a direction of prominence overnight. Like, it still is the same quarterback situation, and I'm not sold that either guy is going to be able to get the job done. So, out of it all together, as much as I do think that there is a great defense for Auburn, I just have so many questions about the offensive personnel, and that makes it easy to pick on Vandy, and that makes it very easy to say the Commodores are the more complete team.
They are the more complete team, and Diego Pavia, he ain't losing at home.
Yeah,
Miss Terry's bathwater, by the way. Make sure you get us that foil hat question for the end of the show. I would love to hear that. I can't even imagine what Miss Terry.
It's him. Got. So I mean, it's gonna be completely out of left field, and I'm totally okay with it.
It's him. All right, Bear, I'm gonna let you take it from here. Run with your next pick, my friend. We've knocked out 3 of them. What's your 4th pick here?
Yeah, going on Tuscaloosa. I do think that Alabama's gonna win this football game. I think Alabama's gonna be pretty well in a position to win this football game, but that line continues to move in a way to where I'm uncomfortable now at this standpoint. And I do think that even though it is LSU and how bad they are with firing Brian Kelly and losing emphatically to Texas A&M, from a composite standpoint, it still is a top 12 roster. And top 12 roster should be more than at least a touchdown. I mean, less than 10 double-digit underdog. And that's 10 points. 10 points feels a little bit too much. Alabama coming off of a bye week. What are we going to see from them as they respond? What are we going to see from LSU? New play caller, new offensive personnel, new designs. Do you take those advantages the way that we've heard for months on end that we want to run the football more? We want to be the more physically dominating team. Do we see that on Saturday? I think for the most part we do. And that leads to LSU keeping it within a one-score game. And ultimately that 9.5 is just a little bit too much for me. So I think it's a touchdown win for Alabama, but at 9.5, you easily take LSU.
That line still sitting at 9.5. LSU plus 9.5 is plus 102. Alabama minus 9.5 minus 124. Sticking with the same game, Bear. And by the way, I like the pick. The fired coach bump. I totally get it. Still a really talented roster. I'm a little bit nervous to take it. Like, I can see Bama winning by 10. It doesn't feel that crazy, but I like where your head's at. I'm going to stay away from the number and go with the total in this game. Give me the over 49.5. I know LSU is elite defensively and Bama's good as well, but I don't know. I do have this weird feeling the firing of Brian Kelly, the bye week. I do think Garrett Nussmeier and that offense are going to have a really successful day. And I mean, I'm a believer in Ty Simpson. I'm a believer in the Crimson Tide offense. I'm a believer in Kalen DeBoer off a bye week and Ryan Grubb and the game plan they're going to roll out there. I think they're going to score in bunches. I'm not saying it goes way over, but I think it does go over 49.5. And let's be honest, I'm just selfishly pulling for points in this game since I'm going to be there.
Florida, Kentucky, Lexington, Saturday night. A lot of weird. Just a lot of weird. Like, this is not the game where I think, okay, Kentucky's offense finds itself. Oh, Florida ends up having a phenomenal performance that ends up being the dominant thing that we were accustomed to seeing with DJ. Like, neither one of those things is going to happen. Like, if you told me that this was another 10-3 battle, I could believe it. I do think that Kentucky's defense is playing a lot better. Maybe it's because they've gone up against inferior offenses. I also don't entirely trust Florida's offense right now, but I do think that they are better than Kentucky's offense. So you don't trust one offense. You know the other one can't move the ball and it's slow as molasses. Go ahead and take the under at 43.5. I think this is going to be something along the lines of maybe 17-7, maybe 17-10, 20 to 17. And I'm okay with that. It's a win. You don't apologize for a win. You definitely don't apologize for when you hit the under.
Those who choose to watch the Florida-Kentucky game instead of the Bama-LSU game on Saturday night, those are my kind of people. Just straight up sickos.
Yep.
Straight up sickos, man. I love it. The real degenerates out there. By the way, Bear, that number on FanDuel as of Wednesday night is now up to 44.5. So if you like it at 43.5,
you sure
it at 44.5. Just double down. Double down on it. Why not? The number I'm going with in this game has not changed. Florida is still a 3.5 point favorite. I am going to go Gators minus 3.5. This is another one. Scares me a little bit. I hate the hook. I always hate the hook with the field goal and the half a point. I just think Florida's a better team. I get it. It's Kroger Field at night. I understand Florida doesn't have a head coach, but I just think top to bottom roster wise, I think Florida's much better. I think Florida will win this football game. I agree with it's an ugly game, a little bit lower scoring. I think I had it a little higher scoring than you did, but I think Florida wins by a touchdown. I don't think that's crazy to say. I think this Florida team is still going to play hard, battle. They've got a lot of talent. I think they win this game by more than 4 points. I do. Yeah. So I'm going to go Gators minus 3.5. Like you said, though, sloppy, ugly, disgusting game that you probably have to watch covering one eye, for being totally honest. So, again, those are our best bets. Bears 27-23. I'm 29-21. Tail us, fade us, whatever you like. Bear, give me a quick update. What do Bears picks look like? The long list of picks you have. How'd you fare last week? What's the record going into week 11?
We went last week 9-5. 9-6. 9-6.
Okay.
For the year, we are 92-52.
40 games above 5.
We are 92-52.
Just outrageous.
And you know what was the crazy part? We should have actually been 94-50, but we lost late in the Georgia-Florida game, and we lost late.
Gunnar Stockton really screwed.
And we lost late in Tennessee, Oklahoma, because if Oklahoma doesn't kick that field goal, then it's under 57.5. So we lost on both very last second of the game.
Miss Terry's bathwater. This is all Bear really ever wanted to hear. Yep. Bear knows ball. That's all. That's it. His career's done now.
I don't care about hearing good conversations. I don't care about hearing how well I am when it comes to being a husband. I don't care about the policies that goes on in life. I don't care about what's going on currently in the Big Apple. I care to hear that Cole or Bear knows ball. That's all I ask for.
That's it. He's a ball knower. That's all he wants.
It's very simple. It costs literally 5 seconds. It's a subscription. All you got to do is hit subscribe here on SEC Unfiltered. Just do that. And that makes it clear that you think that I know ball. That's all I ask for. So I will be content in my life when we hit 30,000 subs. And then the next day I'll bitch about not having 40,000 subs. And then we'll just go down this pathway until the end of time.
That's it. Exactly. Bear's a ball knower. That's all he wants to know. Guys, again, that's it. That's our best bets, week number 11 edition. And, of course, you know who they are, brought to you by our friends over at FanDuel. Let's talk about our friends at FanDuel. It would help if I had the ad read pulled up, which we have right here. Yes, our friends at FanDuel, of course. Guys, it is NBA tip-off week for all you NBA fans out there. FanDuel is your home for live betting. Even if you miss the start of a game or you want to ride the hot hand, FanDuel has live bets on everything from who will score next to fourth quarter comebacks. Plus, you can even combine your live bets to a same-game parlay for a shot at a bigger payout. However you want to play, now's the perfect time to join because FanDuel is giving new customers $300 in bonus bets if your first $5 bet wins. Just visit FanDuel.com/SECU to sign up today. That's FanDuel.com/SECU. Play your game with FanDuel, official sports betting partner of the NBA. So we appreciate our friends at FanDuel. Once again, make sure you go play with them. Like I said, tail us, fade us, whatever you want to do. Be careful because the boys are hot right now. All right. Bear, let's get into our pick'em officially week number 11. Let's get the pick'em graphic, which the legend himself, Eric, has sent over. We do have that. Cam, I did watch that live, by the way.
That was interesting.
That was wild.
That's not going to get broken, I don't think. Like Brandon Aubrey's going to have to. I like Brandon Aubrey made like a 67-yarder, 66-yarder. That's going to be the end of it. Like nobody's hitting past 68. And
Cam Little's with the Jags, right?
Yeah, he's with the Jags.
Yeah, because I was in Jacksonville, literally watching that game.
Yeah, it was crazy. The game was out in Las Vegas, but
yeah. But no, we were watching that game down in Jacksonville, like at the bar, and saw that. That was really cool.
God bless anybody that lives out in Jacksonville and watches that sadless team exist.
I mean, they've got a winning record.
Yeah, because they're a below average franchise. They play in a crappy division. I mean, like that's all it is. I know the Texans play in that same division.
I will not stand for slander of the good city of Jacksonville, the way they treated us after this weekend.
The city's fantastic. Their pro team is awful. There's a giant difference.
It's okay. They know they're awful too. Talking to them, they know they're awful. So
I'm glad that they do.
Yeah,
I hope they understand it.
There's certainly no saltiness coming from the Texans' perspective here. All right, let's get into our pick'em, guys. Week number 11. Yours truly, currently sitting. Let's make sure we got these records correct. I believe they are.
They are.
Yeah, okay, they are. I just couldn't hardly read them. I'm sitting at 78-17. Bear is one game behind at 77-18. But he ain't going to catch me this week.
Nope.
Nope. He's not going to catch me this week.
You're going to lose with me or I'm going to be with you.
Yeah, because for those of you who are watching and you currently see the graphic, and listen, this happens. We've had this happen before, right, Bear? And we went like 7-1 in the pick. So it is what it is. Sometimes great minds think alike. It just is what it is. And sometimes you have a slate where it does favor the favorites or it does favor one side or the other. So with that being said, let's dive into it. Let's start with a game that is the early game on the day. It is Mississippi State and Georgia. Georgia is now, guys, a 9.5-point favorite. The over-under set is 57.5. Bear, both you and I going with the Georgia Bulldogs. And by the way, guys, quick side note, if you want a full preview prediction, full breakdown on these games, we have done so for every single game outside of Ole Miss Citadel because, for every single game, though, preview prediction, make sure you go check that out on our YouTube podcast. It's all out there. We really appreciate those who've already run the numbers up to this point. Again, Bear, we are both going with Georgia to go into Starkville, defy the Cowbells, and come out with a big road win.
For me, this just comes down to which team is making winning plays. And you know who makes winning plays every single week? It's Georgia. Like Georgia, even against Alabama, made winning plays. They just got stopped on 1/3. They couldn't get 1 third down stop, which ultimately was why Alabama won the football game. They make winning plays. That's just it. They did so last week against Florida. They did so in the comeback against Tennessee. They did so in the comeback against Ole Miss. They've done it time and time and time again. You want to know who does not make winning plays? Mississippi State, because they lost in overtime to Tennessee. They lost in overtime to Texas. They lost to Florida. Teams that we all saw Georgia beat and handle business against coming on back. Even if I do think that there is a lot of tendencies and things moving in the right direction in favor of Mississippi State, there's still a flawed team that has some questions that they have to be answered. It's not going to come against a team like Georgia. Georgia goes ahead and walks on into Stark Vegas. And they also go ahead and hit the jackpot when they walk on out with the win.
Yeah, Bear, again, I agree with you. I just trust Georgia. I trust Kirby Smart. Yeah, they're playing with fire, but I think the dogs of the Athens variety be locked in. I think they get this win, and I think they cover as well. Let's go to the game, Bear, in Oxford, Mississippi. We won't spend a ton of time. Ole Miss, Citadel. Shockingly enough, neither you or I is picking the upset in this one. We are going with Ole Miss to get a big win in non-conference play.
Yeah. Moving on.
The only question is just how many points does Ole Miss score in this game?
I'm going to ask you, what are you going to be paying more attention to? The number of commercials that are played in between breaks or the number of touchdowns straight out of Chambliss go score? That's kind of it. Yeah, how many ad reads do we get? How many ad reads do we get before we end up seeing this game turn into a 10-minute second half? which, by the way, is possible. And I would love
could very well be a running clock in the second half. Yeah, it's Ole Miss. It's Ole Miss big. There's not a spread on this game for good reason.
For a reason.
Yeah, for good reason. All right, let's go to the game in Como, Bear. This one you could argue is the game of the day. A pair of top 20 teams, and of course A&M a top 5 team, and they are undefeated. They'll take their undefeated record on the road to take on the Missouri Tigers in Como at Thoreau Field. Great opportunity for Mizzou to get a signature win. They're still sitting there with 2 losses. It's not like they're out of the college football playoff conversation, but they are without their quarterback, and you and I are both going with Texas A&M to keep on keeping on, go on the road, get a big win, and make a statement themselves.
Hey, BTTS, is out of curiosity, I have to do the morning show for Sports Talk 790. Can you tell me what the score is of the game between Memphis and Rockets right now? Really appreciate it. Anyways, yeah, bottom line, I do think that Matt Zollers is going to make this thing interesting in the first half. I really do. He's in a system that is very, very much a quarterback-friendly unit. On top of that, he does have weapons. He has very good weapons. I think that's going to be a big benefactor in favor of Mizzou to be able to kind of set the tone. If you're Kirby Moore, you got to set up plays that are just very much relaxed, put into a position where you're able to go ahead and get the ball out in a timely manner. If you can do that, and then you can set up the rushing attack, you're in a pretty good spot. I just think that A&M is going to be able to get after a quarterback. That's just it. I think they're going to be able to make sure that Zollers makes the mental mistakes, and after that, he's going to eventually get the ball where you punt it to short field position. That allows you to capitalize, put yourself in the right position to then move downfield, go ahead and put your way into the end zone. So I think that Texas A&M wins. I think Texas A&M covers. I really hated that I had to pick it against them this way, but I just like who they are as a program.
Yeah, I'm believing in Texas A&M. I think this team is different. We talked about it, Bear. I think the mental challenge is the biggest part, but I think you got the right guy for that in Mike Elko. I think this team will be locked in. I think the running game will be a big key piece. A little bit of a lower scoring game. I agree with you. I think Mizzou's defense is really underrated and underappreciated, but I just do think it's Texas A&M. And I think without Bo Pribula, although Matt Zollers did look good, going to be really, really tough, I think, for Mizzou to pull this upset. Give me A&M, keeping it rolling, man. This team, we're beyond the point of saying they're for real. I think they will handle their business. This team is going to the college football playoff and very well maybe going to Atlanta. This will be the next step in that direction. Bear, let's go to the game in Nashville. Vandy and Auburn. Diego Pavia is trying to beat up on Auburn yet again. Vandy, of course, 6.5-point favorite. The over set is 46.5, and you and I are both going with the Doors in Nashville to protect the home field at First Bank Stadium and get the win over an Auburn team that just fired their head coach. Maybe the fire head coach's bump here, but we don't think it'll be enough.
So I came up to the conclusion recently that even if this is what it comes down to, Vanderbilt, I feel like, is understanding they're at 16. They have an opportunity to gain as much traction as possible. Let somebody else screw it up, and then they move on up in the rankings. But to me, this has a little bit more for Diego Pavia. So Diego Pavia, if he would have won this game, would have been 4-0 against Hugh Freeze, dating back to his time in New Mexico State and Hugh Freeze's time at Liberty. I think he's going to be playing pissed off like, you took that away from me. Like, you stole something that I was going to be able to hold on to as he drifted off into the faithless abyss of what is going to be his deathbed, that he had lose to me 4 times. I'm going to be playing pissed off. In fact, I'm going to be playing really pissed off. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and destroy you because I just can't believe that you took that moment away from me. So, yeah, I'm pretty sure that we're going to see Vanderbilt come out swinging. What I'm really interested in is to see how much longer are we going to watch maybe this offense miss a beat? Are we going to see the offense of Auburn get back on track because of now you have one design play caller? But I don't think it happens, not at least in this game. I think that Vanderbilt absolutely wins. I was really nice earlier. I don't think so. I think at this point, Vandy's going to come out and they're going to win by double digits.
Give me Diego Pavia. Miss Terry's bathwater. See, this is what we need right here. Thank you for bleeping out the word. Yep. Diego's going to wipe his massive blank and or penis on Auburn's face again.
Yeah.
Thank you. That's all we asked for. That's all we asked for, Miss Terry's bathwater. That's it. Let's try to keep it PG-13. Everybody can enjoy We all know what you mean, though. And I don't disagree. I think Diego Pavia is going to do it. I think that Vandy defense plays a big part in this one. That's a part of the football team that not enough people talk about. Clark Lee's defense has done a great job this season, especially that front seven. I think they have a fun day against Ashton Daniels and company, and Vandy gets the win. Bear, let's go to the game that we will be attending this weekend. It is Alabama, LSU. Strangely enough, an unranked LSU team with no head coach. This has not been the case a lot of these games. LSU sits as a 9.5-point underdog. The over-under is set at 49.5. And you and I are both going with the Crimson Tide to win this game. I mean, Bear, I'm just going to say this. I doubt you can find anyone in any facet of media, anybody out there that publishes picks in any capacity. Nobody is going to pick LSU to win this game. I mean, just flat out nobody. There wouldn't be a result, I think, on this card that would shake things up more than if LSU were to beat Alabama.
There would 100% be one. There would be one.
Are you talking about the A&M game?
No, I'm talking about the Citadel beating Ole Miss. That would be a shakeup of all shakeups.
Realistically.
That would be the biggest trap game of all trap games that ever exists. Here's what I say. It almost kind of feels a little bit like Oklahoma from last week. Like Oklahoma, nobody picked them. I talked to everybody. Yeah. Nobody picked Oklahoma to win. And Oklahoma not only was the more physical team, Oklahoma was also the more prepared team. Oklahoma didn't shoot itself in the foot. They always made sure they took the advantages. That might just be this game for LSU. You take what's given to you, then you go run with it. Now, the thing is that you have to be able to go run with it, quite literally. You can't run the football to save your bleeding life, but you know who can't stop the run at an efficient level? It's absolutely Alabama. Alabama still is in the 70s when it comes to run defense, and they've gotten better, but they still miss at the line of scrimmage, and especially when it comes to being able to make some plays in the open field. So that would be the way that I think that this happens. I don't think that that's what's going to happen. I think that you're going to watch as Alabama figures things out going into the second half. They start building some momentum, and then you watch as like that. It's like going on an energy drink. Like, you know, when you have the first sip and you're ready to go and you're running through the gym and you're about ready to go ahead and think that you can conquer the world. And then comes the relapse and you got to sit on down and your body starts to deteriorate and slowly you want to slip off into sleep because the caffeine is worn off. That's going to be LSU in this game. They're going to have the caffeine buzz that is really hot in the first quarter. It's great in the second quarter. It miles on out in the third. And then by the fourth quarter, they're waving the white flag and they just want to go to sleep. That's why I think this happens. But it's enough to be that 9.5-point spread.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I like Alabama in this game. I think Bama fans are more nervous now with no Brian Kelly.
I would be.
There's a lot of value in the unknown, like we talked about last week with Florida. You just don't know what you're going to get now. No Joe Sloan either. So, Bama essentially just cannot prepare for what LSU is going to do on the offensive side of the football. Can Garrett Nussmeier handle the road environment? Can he be better? Can he take care of the football, be more efficient? The defense is going to give you a chance to win. We did get an update tonight on Whit Weeks. Whit Weeks in this game. As of Wednesday night, the injury report dropping, Whit Weeks is officially listed as questionable. So he is questionable for this game. Would be a huge boost if he can play. We shall see, but I don't know. The kid hasn't been the same since he buzzed his head, so I don't know what the deal is there.
To be fair, they did say in the press conference earlier today, Whit Weeks is doubtful. So He got moved to questionable, but I think it's going to be a very last second. We're leaving him as questionable to prepare for it that way. I don't think he plays.
So questionable is better than doubtful?
Questionable is better than doubtful. Doubtful means that there is a very slim shot of you playing. Questionable means we could be playing. You might not be playing. It's all an unknown. What defines playing, Chris Phillips? What is a catch? What is targeting? What is a catch? What is questionable? What exactly?
Targeting?
What is best player available mantra? I mean, I've heard that in Houston for many years. I don't want to go down that pathway.
Questionable.
6'7". 6'7". That's
6'7".
Exactly. That's what it is.
6'7".
That's what questionable is.
I did not.
What does 6-7 mean?
I did not. Yeah.
It's questionable.
That's what questionable is. It's just the 6-7 meme. That's it. That's what questionable is. I don't know. Who knows? We don't know. All right. Bear, let's get into the final game on the slate here. Florida, Kentucky. We've already talked about it. The Gators, 3.5-point favorites in this contest. The over-under still sits at 44.5. You and I are both going with Florida to get the road win. Kroger Field night game. Kentucky's trying to win back-to-back SEC games. No, say you and I. Florida gets the win.
If Kentucky won back-to-back SEC games, it'd be the first time since 2023. And the last time that they won back-to-back SEC games came against Florida at home on a Saturday when they were trying to make sure that they were back in the saddle of a bowl bid. So, yeah, I mean, it's not uncommon to think of. I just feel like that a lot of weird things are going to be going on in Kroger Field on a Saturday night. It's like, remember that game for Texas where Texas was outgained by 178 yards and it was a 20-6 first down or 20-8 first down differential. And one team was 20% on third down conversions and the other one was 55% on third down conversions. And one team was more penalized and one team had the football for almost 11 minutes longer. But because of they couldn't close the door, they allowed an opportunity for that team to work its way back in. That was Texas. And that was Kentucky. And I think we could see the exact same thing where Cutter Boley is awesome and he actually plays better than DJ Lagway, but they don't put themselves inside of the red zone enough to where they can capitalize and put up points. Or they have a bad turnover, and therefore it looks like it's like a 467 to 278 differential, but Florida wins by a touchdown. Like, I could easily see that being this game.
Yeah, I just think ugly game. Florida finds a way to win. I think they win by a touchdown. I still think they're just top to bottom a better roster than Kentucky. Bottom line, that's pretty much it. So, give me the Florida Gators. I don't think this Kentucky team was ever going to win multiple SEC games. Maybe one, not multiple. Florida on the road. I'm going to take the Gators. So, again, sometimes you have weeks, Bear, where great minds think alike, and you will not be gaining any ground on me this week. So,
nope.
And I won't be gaining any ground on you. We'll be riding out this thing together. So, guys, we'd love to hear your.
Then we can go back to it.
Yeah, then we can go back to it. But, guys, we'd love to hear your thoughts. Where do you agree? Where do you disagree? Who are you picking this week? Is the card really this simple as we made it? Or are we going to get chaos? Hey, the playoff rankings are out now. What if A&M lost? What if Georgia lost? What if Bama lost? What if everybody loses? You know? Who knows? Who knows?
What if everybody besides Vanderbilt loses? You know, we need our Diego Pavia picks.
Shooting up the rankings.
I don't care. I listen, I try to be as unbiased as possible whenever we do these shows. And I always make it clear that I am very much just watching good football. But damn it, I need my Diego Pavia fix in the playoff. That's it. That's all I need. It's just get it coursing through my veins. That sick psycho demon bath salt chain wearing son of a bitch that just makes my life filled with pure joy. I just need that.
Bear, you talk about you need it. I mean, I don't know if I'm going to get it, but I need a home game in Nashville for the playoff more than I need air to breathe. I don't know if it's going to happen, but God, the city needs it. But yeah, college football needs Diego Pavia in the playoff. Bear, bold predictions for the weekend. You got any?
Let's go with the first
one. By the way,
no,
let me give you credit real quick. I think you called the bold prediction of Pavia throwing for over, what, 200?
250.
And he threw for 365. Good for you. Kudos. I thought about you Saturday when that happened. I was like, he nailed that.
To be fair, listen, I have been very much on the record saying as much as I can go ahead and blame officiating and go out there and say that, you know, Vandy was a better team and they fought their way back. A lot of the large yards came in what was considered garbage time. I mean, I will be the first.
Listen, dub's a dub. Win's a win.
Dub's a dub. Gunnar Stockton has more rushing yards than passing yards.
Wow. I will go. Ty Simpson 325 plus.
Wow, that is bold.
LSU.
That's a Heisman. That's for your Heisman bid. I get that.
Oh yeah.
Kentucky has a duplication of their game against Texas, where they outgain Florida by over 175 yards, and they find a way to lose because they can't close the door.
I like it. Bear, by the way, we do have individual props on the LSU Alabama game. Since I just talked about Ty Simpson and his passing yard total, 282.5.
Yeah, I could see that.
Over under 282.5. Probably my boldest prediction of the weekend. YouTube TV and ESPN get a something in place Saturday morning before the game start.
That's a very bold prediction. I don't think it's going to happen, but I mean, it's bold. That's what we're doing it for.
It's bold. I'm trying to speak into existence for everyone before I have to cancel these MFers.
Diego Pavia duplicates his same numbers once again, but this time in a win. So another 300 yard.
That'd be a blowout win, I think.
Yeah,
that's a blowout win. Florida gives Billy Gonzalez the Gatorade bath after getting his first win as interim coach.
I'd actually appreciate that. I think that's a good story. That's a great one. Ahmad Hardy hits 175 rushing yards, and Mizzou still loses by 10.
Oh, I've got a really good one. Bold prediction. Both of Hugh Freeze's daughters make salty TikToks after Auburn loses in Nashville. Just to rub it in.
Nice. I got.
Did you see their TikToks?
No.
Really?
No, I haven't.
Oh, Lord. Yeah, they were like,
that, huh?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. One of them was like, we were promised 4 years. We loved Auburn and they didn't love us back. And like, oh, they just were dog and all. And so it's like, not a clue. Just not a clue. Not a clue.
Read the room. Read the room, guys. Everybody together. Here's a fun one for you. This is a bold one. Casey Concepcion scores 3 touchdowns on Saturday. 1 throwing, 1 receiving, 1 punt return.
I like it. He is a freak.
Yeah.
He is a freak. Miss Terry's bathwater. I need your tinfoil question. I don't know if this is it or not. I don't know if this is it or not, but he comments and says, obviously betting is everywhere right now. Do you think the games are being rigged? Some Izzo comes to a ref and says they'll give their year's salary for a preferable outcome. With what's going on, what say you?
No.
I don't think so. Not to that. I'll tell you this. Not to the scenario you're saying where I think the coach goes to the ref and says, hey, do this. I'll give you this. I mean, do I think some games are rigged because like the mob's behind it? Yes. Yes, I do actually. Yeah. I do. I think there's a lot more shady shit in the world going on than you realize. There are people out there that are, yeah. Yeah. I'm telling you that game. I wish they could never do it because you can't expose like all the secrets, I'm sure, and the people and all. But dude, I wish they could make like a documentary of all like the game. Like that world of gambling goes so far beyond just, hey, I'm picking this game, throwing this, whatever. That's it.
Yeah.
Like, where do you think sharps come from? Like, you know what I mean? Like that. Those people out in Vegas, bro. Like, there's a reason they know. You know, it's much crazier than you realize.
I personally don't think that happens. I just think that because of officiating isn't getting paid at a full end level at the highest bargain, where they're on the staff, they get salaries, they get benefits, they half-ass it. Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. I will defend this for as long as I can. Texas won a football game, and they won a football game fair and square. Texas also allowed because of bad secondary play, which again, Texas, you lost a lot of starters in the secondary. You're still Texas. You're supposed to have a lot of talent, but regardless, not the point. I understand that being the case. That being said, I will defend Texas in one standpoint. At no point was that a 2-point conversion. At no point.
Yeah, that was bad. At
no point was that a 2-point conversion. It should have been a 4-point win for Texas, not a 3-point win. And that's where you got to look at it and go, the spread was 3.5. Why the hell is it 3.5? Nope. That's where you're like, I can understand if somebody says that that's the case. But I also just think that officiating is bad But officiating's been bad in the SEC for years. This isn't something new. They miss calls all the time.
And here's the thing, too. We didn't know how bad it was before, like, instant replay. And, I mean, think about how bad officiating was, like,
1998.
Before 2000, when you just had to take the call that was, like, there was no slowing it down. And
you're putting the life of your national championship in the hands of a dude that's getting paid like $200 on the weekends. Like, come on, that means something. It does. Like, whether or not you want to admit it, there's definitely that case. But like, last season was the first time I finally was like, these are some games that are costing that are certainly being in favor of bad officiating. Like that South Carolina game. I know South Carolina is a fan base that will find every excuse possible to talk about their team being screwed out of something. I have never agreed more in my life with South Carolina fans when we watched as Nicky Manwari crossed the goal line. They're like, nope, sorry, that's coming back. Because they should have been in the playoff last year.
Garrett Nussmeier laid there like he got shot.
It was the greatest. And by the way, a little piece of advice for anybody out there. Don't do what Kyle Kennard did right after, where after he shoves him, they go, nope, not me. Nowhere near it.
That definitely says I didn't do it, right? Like,
didn't do anything. Not the case. Just don't do that. Don't be that guy.
Bear, before we get out of here, quick update on the Auburn front. Auburn safety Champ Anthony has suffered a leg injury and will miss the remainder of the season, including Saturday's game against Vanderbilt. So another significant blow for the Auburn Tigers. Does not help their chances at all on Saturday. So, yeah. It could go a long way in Diego Pavia duplicating those numbers, like you said. Anything else, Bear? Any other stuff? I mean, we really, from the coaching front, we really don't have much of anything to dive into. I mean, apparently I saw via a sports book out there, not our friends at FanDuel, but apparently via a sports book, Lane Kiffin is the favorite now to land at Florida. It all feels like guesswork right now, really, truly. Let me share something really quickly. I know he won't mind me sharing this. And I've shared it to you in the group chat, but I want to put it out there again. You tune into this show, you come here, you get behind the scenes, you're going to get nuggets and things we don't throw on the timeline. Because, right, like, I'm not in the breaking news business. I'm not in the per sources business. But, again, for those that tune in the show, I like to give y'all nuggets that I hear and things. And this is just all rumor, per sources, whatever, through the grapevine. But from people I trust. Apparently, the rumor is there's a certain coach that wants to get out of Los Angeles.
I'll just say it.
He's a certain coach that used to coach at Oklahoma. He wants to get out of L.A. He's sick and tired of being out in L.A., and he wants to get back to the Southeast, to the South. Apparently, he has been in serious talks with Florida, Auburn, I think Arkansas. Essentially, I think anybody that'll listen in the SEC, hey, I want to come back. I am interested in your job. That being one Lincoln Riley. And like I said, this is not just message board banter. This is people that I trust that know football. And this is not, by the way, Bear, this is not the first time I've heard this.
Nope.
I heard this a few weeks prior to Billy Napier getting fired, that apparently it's known within the industry that Lincoln Riley is just fed up with USC or just fed up with the West Coast, and he wants to come back. Will someone take a chance on Lincoln Riley?
Let me ask you, do you leave USC for Arkansas, though?
I guess how much do you dislike being out there?
Because honestly, that's what it comes down to. Is like, I understand the Florida job. I completely understand the Florida job. I understand the Auburn job. Because Auburn, in my opinion, still is a top 15 job in college football. Like, I can get that. But Arkansas? Like, Kentucky opens on up. Just to get out of Los Angeles, you're going to go to Lexington. And don't get me wrong, I think that he would actually do some good stuff there. I still trust him as an offensive mastermind. And I do think that he would be able to entice more coaches to go to the SEC on the defensive side. I do believe that. But I do think that there is a price that comes with it. You're not just trying to leave Los Angeles to leave Los Angeles. You're trying to leave Los Angeles to make sure that you are at least making a lateral move. It's a downgrade. Like it truly is a downgrade, in my opinion, if you're going to Arkansas. And that's not a shot at Arkansas, but look at the resources right now. Look at the state of the complex right now. Look at how they're begging for money. You just heard Hunter Yurachek come out multiple times and demand that they bring money into the program and trying to figure out ways to get more boosters to get on board. And you're really going to leave Los Angeles for that? A program like USC, one with tradition and history that certainly is trying to bring in more opportunities? That I don't buy. But Florida does make sense. And I think Auburn makes some sense. And to be completely honest, Chris, I would love nothing more than for him to go to Auburn. Nothing more for them to go to Auburn.
What do you think about, I want to say, by the way, I saw this clip on social media, Neil McCready and the boys. They do a good job, McCready, Siski, AJ McCarron. He made a really interesting, and I think this is just his opinion, obviously, but he said he thought a guy like John Summerall should go, instead of going to Auburn, go to a place like Arkansas and Kentucky first, where they're patient and don't have such crazy high expectations. I thought that was – here's the problem, though. Like, you might not get offered the Auburn job again. Yeah. You know, I mean, if you're getting offered it, I think you just have to take it. I mean, I guess what he's saying is like he'd be worried that you crash and burn and can't get another job, maybe. I mean,
okay, so the way that he described it, and I thought was a really good analogy, it's like going into a shower. Like you go in and it's immediately scalding hot when you step foot on the plains. And he's not wrong. The expectations there are out of this world. Now, to be fair, I do think Auburn's a great job. I think Auburn is a sound job, and I understand why you should be demanding that you compete for 8+ win seasons every single year. That should be a non-negotiable. You being ranked at the top 25 should be a non-negotiable. You beating other AP top 25 teams should be non-negotiable. Things that did not happen with Brian Harsin, things that did not happen with Hugh Freeze. Just non-negotiables, in my opinion. I don't think it needs to be at the same level as what we put Alabama, LSU, and Georgia right now. Now, if you grow it to that level, it can. But to me, what the difference is that when you go to Auburn, and let's say that you fizzle out there, you probably showed enough gusto to be able to work with those behind closed doors that you know how to be a head coach. And so you go to Tulane again, or you go to USF, and you do well there. Well, North Carolina's going to be paying attention to that, and NC State's going to be paying attention to that, and Virginia and maybe Kentucky and Arkansas will. You have to do so well at a school like Arkansas and Kentucky to then get back on Auburn's radar. And at that point, you may be well endowed in where you are to where it doesn't matter at that point. You're waiting for something bigger. So I think that you got to take the Auburn job. If you're offered the Auburn job and you can be the reason why the program is fixed, you're a legend. If not, you're still going to have an opportunity to coach elsewhere. I mean, think about it. Gus Malzahn got fired, and less than 2 weeks later, he was the head coach at UCF. I mean, that just is the case. You go do something there, you'll have an opportunity to coach again. You may not get the Auburn job again.
Bear, on the note of these jobs, and we've got a question in the comments, or actually a comment in the comments. Our guy Sandman says Florida and LSU are good jobs.
They are.
I want your honest opinion. What's the better job, Florida or LSU?
Depending on the candidate.
No. I just, what do you think is the better job?
I think the best job in the country when run properly is LSU. When run properly.
Is it being run properly, though?
Which is why I can understand if you said Florida, and I won't push back. This year, I wouldn't push back. But to me, it's LSU. And the reason why is because of what Sandman says, and everyone else has said this. Louisiana doesn't face off against anybody else in the state. Texas faces off against Texas A&M. Texas A&M faced off against Baylor. Baylor faced off against TCU. TCU faced off against Texas Tech. They all recruit against each other. Florida faced off against Miami, who faced off against Florida State, who faced off against UCF. Alabama faced off against Auburn and Georgia. You know who doesn't face off against anybody? LSU. And they have talent every year. The state of Louisiana is a top 10 metric in terms of blue chip prospects. Every single year, from Lafayette to Monroe to Thibodeau to anywhere across the state. And they all are loyal to the program. They all dream of dressing up and playing down in Death Valley when they're older. It's the easiest place to recruit and keep homegrown talent there, which is why the expectations are so damn high. And if you can do that and then work the transfer portal as like an outlier, something that helps benefit you, you're better off for it. And that's what makes it the best job in college football when run properly. The problem is for the last decade plus, it hasn't been run properly. And ultimately, this is where we have the concerns on why if you want to go to Florida, I get it.
There you have it. I love it. Yeah, I'd go LSU also, but I think right now it's a little bit debatable, but you got to take what it is with Louisiana, man. They're just how they are. It doesn't take away from how good that job is. I do agree with you. Just go look at the recruiting rankings for I believe it's 2027. I think like 6 of the top 10 kids are from the state of Louisiana. I mean, it's just that right there goes to tell you it is a hotbed, and those kids all grew up dreaming to be Tigers. So, Bear, that being said, good stuff. Good stuff tonight. Again, really, really fun stuff. You and I, back-to-back nights, college football playoff ranking season. We're getting late in season. Crazy to think week 11 is officially here. Before you know it, guys, we're going to be talking championship Saturday.
Yep.
Nuts. It's nuts to think about.
I don't want to think about it.
I don't want to think. Hey, a lot of ball left, though. A lot to be determined. This is actually the fun part. This is actually where it gets really fun. Separation's going to happen. Dreams are going to be realized or dashed. Only time will tell who's on which side of that conversation. Guys,
by the way,
go ahead.
Before we go, a couple things that we just got to do housekeeping this week. I have an event that I have to do for my job, and then something else I have to do with a significant other on Saturday.
You know, Bear, I'm going to say this. I'm not going to say what it is. I'm not going to put you on blast, but I almost texted you. I meant to text you this because it would have been so funny, but I was busy in Jacksonville. I wanted to say, would it be easier to just get a new family?
Yeah, I thought about it. Believe me, I thought about it. I did. But I have back.
You had to sit there and be like, am I sure I want to be in this family?
I have back-to-back.
Have you seen the Family Guy episode where they're like, she's like, you got to pick, Peter. It's the music or your family. He's like, does it have to be this family?
This family? So anyways, this family, my significant other, and the Hounds have something going on that afternoon. No, it is not a pregnancy announcement or anything like that. It's something to do with the holidays. Gotta do that, which means we only have 2 live streams this week instead of 3. Mississippi State and Georgia, and Alabama LSU. We will hit on the recap of what happened between Vanderbilt and Auburn in between that game, but there will not be a live stream for that. So
Mizzou A&M.
And Mizzou A&M.
We hammer Mizzou A&M hard, too.
We will hammer on both of those afterwards. We will talk about it. But unfortunately, timing is not going to be on our side. So only 2 live streams this week. Also, the happy hour is early this week. The happy hour is going to be at 3 o'clock on Instagram. And the reason is because the wife tried to go ahead and get me to go to a wedding, and I told her I don't do fall weddings on Saturdays. The couple was kind enough to do a fall wedding on a Friday. So I have to go to that, which means the happy hour is moving up. So Instagram, 3 o'clock on Friday. Lock yourself in. We'll do it there. I'll unveil my best bets and 2 live streams after Mississippi State and Georgia and after Alabama LSU.
I guess we'll forgive that couple, Bear, for having a Friday wedding, although it pains me they don't respect UCF Houston, USC Northwestern, or Memphis Tulane. How dare they?
To be fair, they did say they weren't going to be mad that I'd be on my phone the entire time and not paying attention to anything that they're doing. Because you really think that I'm going to miss U of H UCF. Sorry.
You think he's going to miss his hometown Cougs?
Come on.
Getting after it?
Come on. They just lost. They just lost last week to West Virginia in embarrassing fashion. They got to show some love and appreciation out in what's it called? In the land that is
Orlando. Maybe Houston can go down to Orlando and talk to Mickey Mouse and get this shit resolved.
Go on. Listen, Willie, you fix Houston. Fix YouTube TV. That's all we're asking for.
That's all we're asking for.
Willie Fritz can do a lot of things.
We know who to give credit to when it happens Saturday morning, like I predicted.
Willie Fritz. Exactly. Thank you, Willie.
The man. All right, we're going to put a pin in it, guys. Overtime Drive, SEC Unfiltered's bi-weekly SEC football show, the best SEC football show on the internet. As always, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button on YouTube. Check us out wherever you get your podcasts, all across your favorite social media platforms, as well as our website, secunfiltered.com. Make sure you follow Cole the Bear Thompson at Mr. Cole Thompson, myself at CPhilly19. I think Cole's also on Instagram at Cole_Thompson.
Yeah, it's 2.
Yeah.
2, unfortunately.
And then he's Cole Thompson CFB on TikTok. That man can't find a single username.
They don't want to give me all the same. It's very annoying when it comes to that. Just let me have one of the same guys.
It's all good. Just make sure you're following along. That's all we ask. That's all we ask. All right, guys, we appreciate you all. Have a great rest of your Wednesday night. Once again, jam-packed slate. We're in Tuscaloosa this weekend. Bears got happy hour reactions, Sunday fun day upcoming. More content from us, by the way. Content leading out of the eyeballs. You already know the drill. Have a great rest of your Wednesday. Have a great weekend. Enjoy week 11. We'll talk to you all on Sunday. Cheers.